Welcome to the Real Estate Marathon Podcast, your guide in the race to financial freedom through real estate investing and sound financial practices. This podcast is for anyone interested in learning more about real estate investing, personal finances, and a new take on traditional retirement. Now, here are your hosts, Larry Fierro and Mike Moe.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Real Estate Marathon Podcast, your Monday morning motivation edition, where we follow up on the call to action from our previous episodes. We hit you with a little motivation to start your Monday morning off right, and then we tee up the coming episode that should release a few days from now. Mr. Fierro, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm kind of excited about today, man. It's the first Monday of 2020, so it's time to get the motivation started off right and get everything lined up for you for this week so you have a successful week.
Yeah, man, I'm still pumped up from that last episode we dropped with the goal setting for 2020.
Oh, man, that was a great episode. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback from everybody, and friends and families talking to me, telling me all good stuff. So,
dude, that thing got me excited. I'm ready to get out there and kill it in 2020.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're on it, man. We're on it. So, speaking of the last episode, do you remember what the call to action was, speak of goals?
Yeah, man. The call to action was to, if you haven't done your goals for 2020 yet, to simply get those on paper, right? So we went in depth with not just how to set goals, but how to set them really effectively, so you get more likelihood that you're going to actually achieve your goals, right? So if you have not done that yet, get your goals on paper. And if you have already written your goals out previously, listen to that episode, go back and just structure them to make sure that you're set up for success. And what I mean by that is go into those few of those key points that we talked about last episode with making sure that you got structure around your goals, to follow up with what actions are you going to take to achieve your goals, and the accountability side of it. We went really deep on that. And we asked you just to structure your goals a little bit more effectively so you're more likely to hit them.
Yeah, you've got to actually take the time, get a nice quiet spot, and really put some deep thought into it. You don't, it's not really in a time constraint, but you really want to try and do it before too long, just because, without the goals, you're not really going to have a blueprint or a game plan to go and attack 2020 and make it as successful as I know you can.
Yeah. And you kind of hit it on the head. You don't want to just whip anything out and throw it on paper and say, that's what I'm going to go after. You really do want to put some time and make sure that what you are committing your time and effort and resources to is something that you really want to improve in your life. So what areas of your life do you want to accelerate in, and make sure that you're really kind of taking a thoughtful effort on what those are, and then writing those goals accordingly.
Yeah, at my house, we usually start back in October, November, looking at our goals, and that gives us a chance to tweak it for the last few months, see what we did well in 2019 and try and improve in 2020. So just sit down and get a quiet room and think about it.
Yes, sir. Yep. And if you haven't listened to the previous episode on goal setting, get back there and listen to it. It's a little bit of a lengthy one, but let me tell you, I'm super pumped about it. It's taken a lot of what we've learned, you and I, around kind of the trial and errors over the years of setting goals, and it kind of put it together in a little bit nice little package on how to make them effective, right? We don't want goals that you dust off once a year and don't make any progress on. We want goals that you're actually crushing.
By far, that's my favorite episode so far. Definitely listen to it.
Nice. Cool, man. What else we got?
Well, we're talking about success today for the motivational topic. We posted
I like success.
Success is good stuff. Success is good stuff. The thing that gets me the most about success is a lot of people feel like, based on what they see on social media and just media in general, that success is a steady progression with very few road bumps, and it's an upward trend towards success, when you and I both know, and we're about to tell you, that success has a lot of branches and curves, and life happens. You've got to stay the course when you're looking towards getting something and being successful. Any of these roadblocks or any of these obstacles that present themselves to you, you really just got to try and get around them, get over them, keep going on your goals and stay the course. That's basically our motivation for this week.
Yeah, man, I like that. I think a lot of people with all goals, they really sometimes they get in their mind that it's this linear, like I'm gonna work at them, and then it's just gonna slowly step up the ladder till I hit my goal, right? But as you and a lot of people know, it's kind of a jumbled construction road looking mess, where it's left turns all over the place. You go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. But if you stay consistent on not just the goals, but more consistently stay focused on the actions that you've decided are going to make you achieve your goals, that's when you can continue to push through those. And you're going to get to the end destination, but it's certainly not going to be a clear linear path. It's going to be a cluster all over the place, U-turns and lefts and rights and ups and downs, like I said. But if you stay focused on those actions, you're still going to get to the end point. It's not going to be a clear path. I think some people get hit a little roadblock or, take a little dip in the road and immediately gets discouraged. But it's important not to stay focused just on the goal, but focus on the actions that are going to help you achieve your goal. And if you're doing those actions, well, you should continue, get some motivation, not just make sure that you're continuing on those actions, even if you haven't necessarily made mountains and moving mountains to your goals quite yet. Focus on those actions.
In my house, it's kind of a battle cry. Whenever we hit a roadblock or whenever we take a couple steps backwards, the battle cry here is basically it's a temporary setback. And we keep telling each other that it's a temporary setback. And we got dinged this today and tomorrow's a new day. So let's get back to where we were and keep progressing forward.
Yeah, man, it comes back to that. Nothing's an overnight success, right? It's a long life, man. If we can stay consistent, consistency is that key, we're not going to do it overnight, but we just got to stay consistent over a long period of time and we're going to get there, man.
Show up every day and punch the clock on your dreams, man. That's what you got to do. Do the work.
Talking about. Cool. What do we got for the coming episode, man?
Well, the coming episode, a couple episodes back, we talked about how we were going to be able to improve the expenses for your rental properties. This episode coming up, we're telling you how to calculate those expenses. One of the in-depth topics that we get into is where to find the numbers that you use to actually plug them into the math equation, because as everybody knows, real estate is just one giant math problem. And if you come out with a positive number, pull the trigger on it. Yeah,
and it's super important, as we're going to talk about in this upcoming episode, to know your numbers going in, because garbage in, garbage out, right? It's one thing to know what numbers to put or what, I guess, expenses to calculate, but then how do you find that number and how do you make sure it's accurate? This I'm excited about because this is one that I struggled when I started with some larger properties, is how to figure out these expenses in a target market that you're looking at. So I'm kind of pumped to get into this one. So
definitely, where do you get that number and how do you plug it in? That's a big episode. So make sure you stay tuned for Thursday's episode.
Back into the real estate deep dive. Love it. Love the deep dive. So continue that marathon, runners. You're doing a great job. Yeah. All right. Cool. Anything else, man?
No, that's everything I got. Looking forward to the first full week of 2020. Get it done and enjoy your week.
All right, cool. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Real Estate Marathon Podcast. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Real Estate Marathon Podcast. If you found value in any of the content from this show, consider supporting us in the following ways. Subscribe to the Real Estate Marathon Podcast. Leave a rating and review. Continue the conversation with like-minded individuals on social media by heading over to the Real Estate Marathon Podcast Facebook group, or follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Real Estate Marathon Podcast.